this video, we're going to build this big bear knife. The customer wanted it to be about 8 inches long, and he wanted this protruding swedge. And so I designed the rest, and he seemed to like it. We're going to put it on an 1/8 inch stock, and start grinding now. And now we're just going to rough grind it out with an angle grinder with a grinding wheel on it. I've got the knife rough ground out. As you can tell, actually really rough ground. I'll have to get this choil with a file and get a lot of grinding on the belt sander. But it's got the basic shape, and it already feels pretty nice in the hand. So I think it's going to be a good one. I've just finished refining the shape and surface grinding the blade. It took multiple belts because there were some pits in it, but I finally got it cleaned up. And as you can see, there's still a couple of pits right here at the edge, but those should be fine because I have to bevel the knife anyways. It's still an 1/8 inch thick, and I didn't worry about these down here on the handle because it will be under the scales anyways. So now that I've got the refined shape, which I showed you in the last clip, I'm just going to start beveling the edge on the knife. I'm going to flip over the knife on the belt sander and do a rough edge like this on the other side, and then I'll just continue to work my way back up the knife. As you can see, my plunge grind has started, so I'll mark it and then I'll do the same plunge grind on the other side. I decided that I wanted to do a full flat convex, but it's a very minor convex. So it's almost like a full flat up until about right here, and it's a very shallow convex. I don't know how to show you, but that's about the thickness I went for heat treat, so there will be no warping. And I think it looks pretty clean, and that's what I was going for. So now I just have to drill it and then heat treat it. And this one has a micarta handle in store for it. So last I showed you my finished bevel, which is a full convex throughout the whole blade, and I put a swedge on it. It's not a sharpened swedge, but I've actually put a B on here for bell blades, and I've drilled 3/4 inch, 2 for aluminum rod and 1 for a lanyard hole tube. And so now I just have to heat treat. If you want to know more about heat treat, check out my previous video. It's all about heat treat, and that's the whole video. And so now to heat treat. I think we got a successful heat treat on this one. I tried to make this bear knife before, once, and the heat treat was not good, and so when I went to test it after I cleaned it up and put an edge on it, it fractured right here a little bit, and it went down about a half an inch with a chunk missing. But I just tested it with the file, and it feels like it's skating off all the way from here at the choil to the tip. And even the swedge feels like it hardened too, versus down here on the handle where it's biting. Up here it's just skating off. So don't mind the imperfection looking things. Those will come off pretty easy. Now I just got to temper it and put a handle on it. So right now I have the knife in the oven at 425, and it's been in there for 40 minutes. I'm going to keep it in for another 20. I've noticed an hour works well for this steel, and I'm just trying to get a golden wheat color. As you can see, the golden is already starting to form or show. You might be able to see it on this knife better. Right there on the back. And so we'll just leave it, and it should turn out okay. As you can see, I've just finished up cleaning the blade after heat treat. I've removed all of the scale and oxidation from the blade, and I've just used, I've just used a simple 80 grit belt and cleaned that up. And now all I have left to do is put a handle on it and a finished edge. We'll see if we can get that to focus. Maybe. But if you can't tell, there's still a flat edge. I can still do this and not get cut. There was a little bit of melting, a little tiny bit of melting during heat treat on both sides, but I don't think that's a big deal. I think it looks pretty good. See what it looks like with a handle on it. It's a dreary day today, so I came out in the shed and I finished up the blade on this bear knife. So what I did was I just went over the whole blade with a worn out 120 belt, and so that shined it up pretty well. But then I put a micro bevel on it with that same belt, and then I buffed it all using black compound, then brown compound, then white compound. So now it's very reflective. You can see the camera. So now I'm just going to wrap it up with a paper towel and some tape to keep the blade from scratches, and I'm going to put a micarta handle on it. So I didn't show that last step of me putting on and pinning the handle because it's just a rushed process with the epoxy I use, and it was difficult because this is the first time I've used micarta, this is black and gray canvas micarta with 2 1/4-inch aluminum pins and a 1/4-inch stainless steel tubing as a lanyard hole, and then I've just surface ground it and started on the edges, and so now I'm going to round it off more, and then I'm going to start to contour it, and I've just got this paper towel on it to keep the blade from scratches and stuff. So onto that.
So I just finished up shaping the handle. I didn't want to record the whole thing because I felt like that would be boring and not really the most useful thing in the world because you couldn't really get a clear view. But as you can see, I just finished like I just told you. I put a groove right here for your index finger and the inside of your thumb. And then I put a groove here at the hook for your pinky and the bottom of your hand. And so if you want to chop with it, you can use your 3 fingers or your 2 fingers, and it's pretty comfortable for chopping. And it's just comfortable for a normal hold or using the thumb ramp Or you can even do a reverse grip if you're trying to get the good shavings and stuff. But I just finished up this. I'm going to finish sanding it with 150, 220, and then I'm probably going to go up to 600, then maybe a Scotch-Brite. And then I might put some oil on it, depending on what it looks like. And I'll get back with you.
So what I just showed you was rough shaping the handle, and I said I might show you a little bit of the final shaping, but I didn't because it was just long and tedious and it took tons of hand sanding. But now you can see that it's done, it's finished shaped, it's black canvas micarta taken up to it. I used 50 grit and then 220, and then I went up to just 600 wet and dry and hand sanded all that, and now it's really smooth and fits the hand nice. And so now I'm just deciding if I should put oil on the handle, just a light coat to make it look nicer, bring out the grain in the micarta. I'll probably do that, and so I'll show you that in the next clip. I forgot what I showed you in the last clip, so I'm just going to show you again. This is the final knife. I sanded the handle up to 600 grit. I polished the pins. That's aluminum and then stainless steel tubing, if I haven't told you. It's 1/4 inch OD, I think. Yeah. And then I don't know if I showed you this, but I put a B right here, the ricasso, in front of the guard for bell blades. And then I just polished up the blade. Now it's sharp and ready. The customer is actually getting a custom leather sheath made for it, and so I don't have to worry about a sheath. So yeah, that's the end of this video, or the end of this knife build. I hope you enjoyed watching this creation. There's the handle. It's the black and gray canvas micarta. I ordered it off knifekits.com. It was 5/16 inch thick. And then my last video, the heat treating video, I said I'd show you the knife when I was done at the end of the next video. And here it is. I did a Kydex sheath for this one with an integrated Kydex belt loop. I just riveted it on, nothing fancy here. And it actually turned out really well. I hand sanded it up to 400 grit on the blade, and then it has a walnut wood handle with polished 1/4 inch aluminum and stainless steel tubing like the big knife I just showed you. And so that one's off to be sold now, and it's got really good retention on the sheath, as you can hear. And it's not coming out of there. There's just a little bit of rattle, but I'm still learning how to make sheaths. So I hope you like both of these knives. If you do, please like this video, and if you wanted to see the heat treating of that previous knife, since I didn't go in too much depth of heat treating for this knife, just check out my last video and subscribe if you want to see more. Sorry for the background noises, someone's mowing the grass. And so yeah, comment what you want to see next, or a type of knife maybe that you want to see next, and maybe I'll get around to making one of those. Thanks, bye.